Hey everyone, this is Classy and this is my first coaching guide. So I'm going to be starting off today on Mirage CT side because this is a popular thing I see teams like kind of crumbling as soon as they get off T side, or even when they start on CT side, is like they don't really understand how to play this map very well on CT. So I thought I could help everyone and just like teach some game knowledge that I've learned over the years and from people that I look up to. So the first thing I'm going into is going to be connector and A site. So very first thing you want to do on the first gun round is communicate utility usage between you and your site players. And the reason for that is because a lot of times I see something like this happen, where um, either a player uses improper utility like that and they don't smoke it off right, or they both smoke and try to molly the same area. So you both just wasted a bunch of money and utility, and you gave yourself way less of a chance. You're giving yourself way less of a chance to win the round by doing so. So you really want to be communicating who's throwing what and where and when before the round even starts. So you need to be focused when you're playing. So something I would say in a pug or even with my team is even if we have like something established, I'm going to repeat it. I'm going to say, okay, if I'm a site player, which usually I'm a connector player, so I'm going to be passing on a lot of connector knowledge in this video. But if I'm a site player, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to smoke T-ramp, and you're going to cross the connector. So basic T-ramp smoke would be like you wedge yourself in this corner, aim right above this logo, or right on this ledge. I like to aim right above the logo and think of it like that though. And that's a perfect smoke right there. You don't need to be smoking this off every round unless you have a contingency plan to use a molly here, but I'll go into that in a bit. And that also ties in with smoking T-ramp before crossing to con and not dying early crossing. So, especially as a site player, you really need to, like, the connector player should never use their smoke to smoke themselves to cross, because their smoke is so impactful in the round that they should not be using it on such a basic thing. It should always be the site player's responsibility to smoke the con player over to con so that they can cross. So your routine is going to look like this as a site player. You are going to jump over here, wedge yourself in this corner, and right here, and then post on this right after you smoke it, so that the T player can't just run through the smoke and secure that early pick on your con player crossing. Some things you can do as a con player, if that is happening, like in a pug or something, and you have bad teammates who don't have game sense, you don't have to cross, you can just come over like this, and now you are in your position. But generally the fastest way, especially if you have a good spawn for it, is to just cross through the site. So don't die early crossing, don't be stupid like that. So as a con player, the con player has a few different jobs, and I'm going to go into all of those jobs. As a con player, you need to be ready to bail your window player out by flashing and smoking for him. So one of your biggest responsibilities as a connector player is to support mid and to be focused on cat. So you're a big mid controller. You are basically your team's carry for support and for mid control. So say your opper secures a quick pick here, and he jumps down here, secures a quick pick here, or there's nobody here and he's trapped and he goes, yo, I'm trapped, can somebody help me? You as a connector player, that's your responsibility. So what you're going to do is you're going to do this little combo. You're going to smoke there, flash over, and for him, that's going to look like this. The top mid players are flashed, he has a smoke to escape through, and boom, now he's safe. Now, you can be a little bit extra and come through your own smoke and up here, come back through your own smoke. That's a little bit more dangerous. So I would just do the smoke and the flash. Sometimes I see people doing this by accident, and you really don't want to be doing that. So just remember, like, even if you need to line it up, this flash should be done like this, just right over the building. Don't dink it off right there and waste your flash. Another responsibility that a comm player has is to communicate cat and mid information. So if I hear a smoke pop off, which your mid offer should see it happen, so he can also communicate it. As soon as you see that go off, you're gonna say, or as soon as you hear that go off rather, you could see it go off if you're playing more aggressive. But as soon as you see or hear it, you're gonna say it could be coming up cat. You're gonna come right here, and you're gonna throw the smoke most of the time. If you don't think they're just gonna barrel up cat, you're gonna wait for the window smoke, and if they smoke window as well, you are going to throw the smoke. So again, I'm gonna repeat it. If I hear the top mid smoke go off, I'm gonna say it could be running up cat, and especially if I hear the window smoke go off, I'm going to smoke this, and then I'm going to flash big, and then I'm going to post right here on cat, and use my connector smoke, my bottom connector smoke, as a one-way to potentially get 1 or 2 kills, or just a full-on multi-kill, which can definitely happen as a connector player. But you also need to be focused, or you need to also know that somebody could push through that smoke from underpass, and if you're playing right here, they can spam you. So that's why I like to hold back here a lot of the time. It's a little bit of an easier shot if you do post right here, but it gives you a better chance to, you cover more ground if you post on this angle rather than this one. So that's another responsibility that the connector player has. And the third responsibility of the connector player is to spot palace. So you have a few different responsibilities, and it's a pretty ADHD role, which is why I love connector, because I do have ADHD and my brain is going everywhere, and I sort of just try and focus on everything. So the reason your smoke is so impactful is because you're going to use it on the first thing you see. So my routine as a connector player kind of looks like this. I get my site player to smoke to ramp. I'm gonna come over here, see any info here. If I see or hear a smoke at top mid, I'm gonna say it could be coming up cat. If I hear that window smoke, I'm gonna be doing this. If I don't see anything mid, I'm gonna say nothing at mid. I'm spotting palace. I'm gonna spot palace. If I see somebody at palace, I'm gonna throw this smoke. Oh, no, not that smoke. So a pretty consistent smoke is to line yourself up with this corner, kind of walk a little bit further away from it until you're like right here.
Laying down smoke.
Oh, fuck.
Smoke.
So aim a little bit higher than that. Yeah. See, I always get this consistently when I'm in a match. Sometimes I whiff it, to be honest, and that's no good. You really don't want to be doing that. But you never want your smoke to be like this. I would rather just have palace open than have my smoke bloom like this, because it gives them free range to get on site, and you don't want to allow them to get space like this on the site. So don't throw smoke that blooms on the balcony. Throw it that blooms just like this. And a consistent smoke for that is basically what I just showed you. I'm gonna come right here, aim like in the middle of the stairs, and boom. Okay. So my connector routine basically looks like that. I'll go over it again. I spot mid. I just like kind of do a jiggle to see if anybody's there. I don't stay here for too long. I just boom. And then if I don't see the smoke or hear the smoke, I'm going to say nothing mid. Then I'm going to say I'm spotting palace. If I see someone palace, I'm going to smoke that. If I don't see someone palace and I hear smokes, then bloom either at top mid or in a window, or in tandem, I mean, I'm gonna smoke this, flash over, post. Something I see a lot of people making the mistake of doing is their window player might die, they come over here and they throw a nade to underpass. That is a puggy thing to do, and you really don't want to be doing that too often. You really just want to allow yourself to have to focus on anybody that could be boosting into sniper. Or you want to switch roles. You want to say, hey, come over to connector from site. I'm going to go into palace, or I'm going to go into window to keep them from boosting in. But the main thing you want to be focused on as a connector player always should be A site, palace, and mid or cat. So another thing for every player, just specifically A players, or any player really, is as soon as you see these smokes come down, what a lot of people will do is they will instantly tunnel vision the hit, which that is not what you want to be doing because there's literally nothing you can do. Like, you don't want to be throwing utility when these smokes are up. You don't want to be throwing anything or pushing through the smokes. As a connector player, what you want to do is you want to wait for your cat rotator, which if you're on cat, please don't come around market and rotate through there. And if you're like a B van player and you don't have a cat player, rotate to cat, because your connector player needs to clear mid and you can help them a lot. So what you're going to say for your cat rotator is you're going to say, hey, come clear mid with me, come clear underpass, and either there's going to be somebody lurking here or there's not. Either way, by that point, the smoke should be about ready to fade, the bomb should be planted, and you should still have your Molotov intact. So this is where your Molotov is really going to be impactful. You don't want to be throwing mollies early round, you don't want to be throwing them mid round, you want to be using them in post plant retake situations, because that's what the molly is meant for in the game. So you really want to be flushing them out of positions. Like Firebox is a very powerful position, which that molly is pretty easy to throw. If you're worried about getting peeked like this, you can just throw it like that, and it does the same thing. You can also molly off default by aiming about right here, like a little under this, and right on the leftmost corner, and just running through it over to default. Or you can throw it over to your trigger. Just any position you see a T run to, and that needs to be aimed a little bit higher. So yeah, any position you see a T run to, or you know a T might be at, which is commonly going to be Firebox, just throw it over there. And one of your rotators, like, I don't know how many people know this, but when somebody mollies something off for you, you should post on it to get a free kill. Like, a lot of people don't take advantage of that, and I don't know why, but especially as an opper, you need to be posting on mollied off positions. So like, if I was rotating from cat and I have an opper, if I was rotating from window and I have an op, if I see that Firebox molly go down, I'm gonna instantly post on it, probably like this, so that I can meet in the middle and like get the flick off, because I don't know which way he's gonna swing. And if you're an opper, you should have good enough aim to do that. I mean, you can hold these angles like this, but I think the best option to cover all ground is to just meet in the middle with stuff like that. Specifically on that Firebox angle, it's like that. Also, it's like that on triple. If somebody mollies off triple, you should probably do something like this. As I said, you can do this, post on either side of it, but it's better to aim in the middle, especially if you're a good aimer. Just because, like, you cover more ground by doing that. So, I think that's about it for my A and connector. I'm gonna go into retakes. So in a retake situation, you always want to be coordinating with your team to peek together instead of alone. Even in a pug, you can do this. A lot of times I see players, like, their team, like, imagine I'm here retaking from market and my teammate is still over at CT rotating from CT. I'll see a lot of players just charge out by themselves and just try to retake alone. This is a really bad thing to do because you're going to die. You might trade 1-for-1, but you still sacrifice a big chance to retake the site and to win that round. So if I'm retaking from market, I'm not even going to get into market. I'm going to wait outside of it until my CT rotator comes over and meets me at market. So like until he's right behind me, I'm not going to go in. And we're going to clear all of these angles together, and then we're both going to jump out of market window at the same time and clear every angle. Obviously that's not the first angle I'm going to clear if I'm jumping out. If I'm jumping out, I'm going to clear this angle first. So that's another piece of information if you didn't know, is you should always clear this first if you're the first guy out. But yeah, if you're second in, you should probably be looking at side or bench or trash can. But just always come out together in a retake situation. The other thing is coordinating utility usage in a retake. Again, your Molotov is the most important piece of utility in a retake, and you want to wait to use those Molotovs until your team is in a position to capitalize off of them. So similar to the player that just rushes out and tries to retake all by himself, going Optimus Prime mode, trying to take all of the keys on by himself. This player will just throw his Molotov when nobody's in a position to capitalize off of it. So first of all, the reason this is bad is because you have to pull your gun out still. And even if a player was there, you didn't pull your gun out in time to kill him. So you just wasted a molly, and you let him reposition off of an angle that was easy to get a kill off of. So if I'm retaking from market and I want to flush somebody out of empty, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until my cat player is there, because as the cat player you have the most potential to kill somebody on site or on bench, which is not necessarily true if you have an apps retaker and he throws a Molotov to bench. Then your market retakers have the best potential to kill him. But generally speaking, if there's no molly at bench, you have the best opportunity to kill the bench guy. But I'm getting off track. So I'm going to wait as a market retaker until my cat player is at cat and he's in a position to capitalize off of this molly. I'm going to say, I'm going to molly off site, cat player swing when I molly. 3, 2, 1. And then he's going to swing, this guy's going to charge out like a chicken with his head. I'm going to kill him pretty easily. So yeah, don't waste utility throwing mollies when your team is not in a position to capitalize. And this also ties into an apps retaker. You don't want to be throwing Molotovs until your team is out of market, because they can't do anything until they're out of market. So this bench molly is really important to do well on. Wait until your market players are out of market to throw that, because that's your biggest impact as an apps retaker. You can also do the same thing to van, obviously, but you still need to wait until your market players are out to do that. Similar to if you have 2 retaking from apps, you need to wait until your teammate is right here until you flash, like until he's at the stairs, and you can see on the radar when he's in the position that he needs to be to capitalize off of that flash. So the reason for this is because if you throw it like too soon, the player's gonna not be even flashed by the time he jumps out. So a good flash for get right or arches and under window is this shallow flash where you just come up right here and you like aim over here. That's really good to flash this guy out of under window if he's playing there, or off of get right. So that's a good flash to kill him. But if you have 2 flashes, which is really good if you're an apps retaker, if you have 2 flashes, I would try to If you have 2 flashes and a molly, I would try to get in a position where you can retake from apps with another player. Because what you can do is this. Once this guy is in kitchen, you bomb that flash over, and then you wait until he's over here, about ready to get to steps, and then you throw this shallow flash. He jumps out, the mollies are coming in from the market retakers, this guy jumps out, the under window player is blind, or he's sitting get ready blind, or they're in both of those positions and he's it just kills both, which would be pretty godlike. And then like your cat player swings off of the market player's mollies, and you know, it's just a real fucking nice retake. And then you're mollying off of bench or van. You know, it's just, if you learn how to do this, it's pretty easy, and you can learn how to take control and win a lot of games on Mirage when you do this. So mollies are best used late round. They're not very well used in an early round, which I know it's kind of hard if you're a B player, like an inexperienced B player. Like a lot of times people will jump spot like this, and if they see somebody they'll instantly throw a molly, which is not a good thing to do. You're better off using your smoke and keeping your molly. If you need to either retake A or fall back and concede the site. Keeping your molly pretty much on every map is going to be your best bet. It's your advantage as a CT to keep your molly until the bomb is planted. So, wrapping up, you don't want to tunnel vision sight hits. You don't want to be in a hurry to use nades in a retake. You want to slowly use them on CT side because it'll help win CT rounds. And you won't be so anxious when you get the bomb down. You want to coordinate utility usage, and another thing that's really good to do in terms of coordinating utility usage is, like, if you don't want to have that con player, or you can still have the con player, but if your site player wants to get more aggressive, like if you know they're ecoed or something good to coordinate, and this is a good contingency plan as well. And I'm going to talk a little bit about contingency plans because they're good to use if you have a team. Is like just something you have in your pocket for future reference. So like if you know they're ecoed, you can do something like this, like tell your teammate to get on top of Balk, your site player, and then from connector you can flash him in like that, and then he can peek fast and just get a few frags. That flash can be better thrown, like to pop flash more guys like in these angles, but that's a really good thing to do to clear Palace out early round. Another thing you can do on CT side is, this requires not having a connector player, but if you know they're gonna early hit A, this is a really good thing to do. But it's also very counterable after the first few times you do it. Is you're gonna throw this molly, like you're gonna have a rifler play this angle at the start of the round. You're gonna throw this molly, and then right as it starts to fade, you're gonna flash it, and this player here is gonna swing, and he's gonna catch people off guard, because right when you throw that molly, these A players are gonna try to play around it, and they're not going to expect a flash to come in right as the molly's fading. They're gonna try and push in, and boom, they're flashed, and then this guy picks up a few quick kills and backs off, and now you have early man advantage. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is, on CT side, you should play passive once the man advantage is secured. So just like I was talking about, as soon as you get one kill, you want to keep that man advantage. So you basically want to start playing like a bitch as soon as you get man advantage. And I see a lot of players, especially in pugs, I know I keep saying this, is like they start over peeking as soon as the man advantage is gained. Or like if you get one kill, like say they're coming out of ramp and I throw this flash. and I get 1 kill. I'm gonna start because I think he's still blind. But what I really should do is, or just get that 1 kill and come back and start playing like a bitch again. Unless I'm super confident in myself that game, and I have a lot of momentum going, I'm just gonna use that flash to get that 1 kill, and then I'm gonna back off to keep the man advantage. And that's what your entire team should be doing. Once you have that 5v4, you don't want to give that up. You want to start playing the angles together, you want to start coordinating peaks together, and you do not want to give that man advantage up. That is how you win rounds on CT side. If you get the early man advantage because you have a good opper at mid, that's a godsend. Your opper should get that 1 pick. Maybe he should jump down here because trading 1 for 2 is good. But if I'm a good connector player, I can bail him out. Possibly. But the main thing I want everybody to focus on is, even if you're an opper, you should really be focusing on keeping the man advantage in everything you play, like practicing that, because that's how you get better. You don't want to be over peeking, you don't want to re-peek dangerous angles, like, say I get the op pick right here, because he's over peeking and overextended. I don't want to re-peek this again, because it's just become a dangerous angle. What I want to do is I want to smoke this, and flash over for my opper, and then he can peek and grab another kill, and then he can stop peeking, and now we've gained a two-man man advantage. So everybody who's watching this video, I really want you to focus on those mechanics. I want you to focus on all of those practices. I want you to just practice doing all of these things that I told you, and I hope you guys could learn something from this. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the channel.